So I'm in the garage because it's late at night, and I'm just showing you that um, why my father is guilty of stealing my guitar, and how they did plan it out. Like this is my grandfather's car, okay, and my father violated an order of protection, and so he violated this order of protection. Um, he came home. He came home driving this car, and my father my father pulled up to the driveway, and
Diana's calling.
see Diana's on the phone right now. My aunt is on the phone talking to my grandfather, and my father's at the house at this house, and he's outside right now, and he's exchanging the car and getting his other car. My father and his girlfriend took my guitar, got into this car, and drove off with my guitar and and took it somewhere.
I'm recording on 2 devices.
Yeah, now I'm doing like four.
My aunt knows about
Okay,
it.
and so and you'll see that my father's getting out of the car. Like I'll show you in the photographs, he's getting out of the car. And so my aunt knows that he's violating his order of protection. She knows there's an order of protection. That's why he's not at this house. And so the video might be pausing due to well, you can see the car. You can see my father getting out of the car.
Let's see it.
Like maybe I'll try to
Grandfather's going outside.
I'll have another video.
Trying to get better footage.
See if I can get better footage. Yes, the trunk is open. It's difficult.
I have it on.
There's a couple of videos of it, but my father's violating
Violating an order of protection.
My aunt is on the phone with my grandfather. Was just on the phone.
Knows about it.
Yeah, she's on the phone with my grandfather.
My aunt knows about it.
She knows my father is there, and my aunt knows where my guitar is at. She knows where my guitar is at.
I have my father's email address.
And at this time, I didn't know my guitar was stolen.
My father's email address.
I didn't know my guitar was stolen. But my father told his girlfriend to take my guitar,
So
and then get into this car and drive off with my guitar.
Basically, he can come back and forth whenever.
And then put her clothes in the closet.
Does he work for?
And then vacate the property.
Is that why he gets to kill me? Threaten to kill me? Try to kill me? Pull out a knife?
I'm gonna speed up to the videos where
Because I'm obviously
I'm gonna speed up to the videos where it's a more clear picture of him like stepping outside in the car. I want to show a better picture here. This might be it. If it loads just like in the movies. I think I said. I don't know.
focus on it. You can kind of see the car in the corner windshield.
Nah, I'm not doing a good job of.
My grandfather's car.
It's kind of difficult to get on this camera. But there's other videos that are issued that because I just need to show in this video that he literally got out of this car, okay, and so there's the car, and you see him getting out of the car.
Notice my neighbor's car. It's just like in the movie. It's just like in the movies. Just like in the movies.
And that's my point.
Funny. Do not laugh.
And that's my point. Is that in this short video? Well, I'm not going to say that, but basically, they walked off with my guitar. My father's truck is getting work done on it. his girlfriend doesn't have a car. It's not even his girl. The girl said she doesn't have a car. She has no means of transportation. So the only transportation that they had was the utility vehicle. Saw like in if you go back, there's a white utility vehicle outside, like right there. There's a white. You can kind of see like I'll show. All right, next to the car, but that had always been there. The only car that was so there's only the white utility vehicle and a truck, a red truck that he had, and that red truck is gone. It's in the shop. So the only car that they had to get into was my grandfather's car. And I'll show you that the closet that I put my guitar into didn't have any clothing in it. And then the clothing and then there after my guitar was taken, or during that after my the clo- during after my guitar was taken, there was clothing that was put into there. So my father said, like, just put your clothing in there. We'll take the guitar, we'll drop it off, we'll get money for it, and that'll be it. And and so my aunt knows what pawn shop it is, and they all know what pawn shop it is. They say, because they said it's at a pawn shop. I never like they said it's at a pawn shop. They know what pawn shop. They know who took it, and my aunt keeps calling. My aunt keeps calling my grandfather, like checking up. Like, does he know? Like, is it like what's? Because I just found out about my guitar getting stolen. Like the day after he violated that order of protection. Like that happened. That happened a couple days ago, and then I found out the next day my guitar was missing. Because I'm not like going around the house like checking to see where everything is at right away. Like I'm and so the issue is that, once again, I'm gonna bring you into the bedroom where the guitar was at. Where the guitar was in the closet, I'm gonna show you how the closet was completely empty and how I kept my guitar in there. Okay, and then how my aunt doesn't. My aunt knows. My aunt is alleging that it was the woman who my grandfather states that is like. Well, my aunt is alleging that it's a woman, and my aunt is saying it's not my father because my father will like narc on my aunt for her corrupted my corrupted uncle, and so they'd rather blame the woman who walked out with my father and got into this car with the guitar. Okay, got into this car with my guitar, and because my grandfather said my grandfather said that woman who they're blaming, my grandfather said she was being used. She was being used by my father, and my aunt so my aunt is pretty much my aunt is pretty much uh, going to my father. How do I say? My aunt is allowing my father to lie to. No, my father and my aunt have decided to blame her for, who got in the car with my father. Decided to blame her so they don't get in trouble for it. They don't get in trouble for it. Um, they don't get in trouble for it. So, I'm gonna be quiet when I come back to this house. It's so late, and show you. I will show you. I had my guitar right down here. Now these clothes are in here. Okay. And some of her stuff is right here. Like on the floor, on the bed. And so he told her to put her clothes in here. He told her to put her clothes in here and then take my guitar. He told her to put her clothes in here and then take my guitar. And so they got into the car together, my grandfather's car, and they drove off with it. And knows where it's at, which means she knows that it was taken. Which means she knows that it was taken, and she knows who took it, and she knows when, she knows where, and my father is my father forced. The most important thing is my father forced her to take my guitar, so that way if so that way she goes to jail, so that way that if I come back, if then my if then she goes to jail, and he doesn't get in trouble for it, or my aunt doesn't get in trouble for it, because if my father gets in trouble for it, he's gonna tell on my aunt, and my aunt says hell no, that's not gonna happen, and and what's important is that that my I found out today, because this was like yesterday. I found out today that my computer, the other computer that I had, because this computer doesn't work, that I rented from the local library, they they took that too, and I didn't tell anybody where it was, but it was outside in the shed, and so that nobody should have known about that, and 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 so what's important is that so I can remain on topic about this is that, well, I'm gonna turn off the light. I'm gonna go here so I can hoot and holler. So just to regain my oh my my so she doesn't have anywhere to go. Okay, she doesn't have anywhere to go. So you would think like this house, like she obviously she wants this house. She wants to stay in a house because she doesn't really have anywhere to go. And what I'm needing to explain is that she what I'm trying to explain is that which is difficult, is that I told her that my father was an offender, would hurt women, and she didn't know that. She didn't know that. And after I told her, he took her home. And then he came back and tried to kill me. There's I don't know if it's still in the car. No. There's a baseball bat in the car. There's a baseball bat in the car, and there's blood in the car. I'll show you pictures. But he came back to hurt me, and because I told her, and my grandfather says that my grandfather says they were just using her, and that she meant nothing. So why would my father come back and want to kill me if she meant nothing? And that's because my aunt my aunt is responsible. My uncle are responsible for putting they're basically allowing women to come into this house and be used. Is what it ends up being. I think I'm saying correct, but the point is that my father came home and tried to kill me, and then like now she's apparently possibly in jail. She's possibly in jail, and so she's obviously a criminal, or she's possibly a criminal, and like if she's possibly a criminal, and if she's in jail, then like how do you, let me just say that right there. So why would my father want to come home and kill me if she's a criminal? Why would my father want to come home and kill me if she's a criminal? And why would my grandfather be protecting her this whole time? And then like because he got upset at me that I talked to her, and my aunt got upset that I talked to her, and so I'm going to show you, like, when my father came home, like, he had already gotten in a fight with somebody else. He had already gotten in a fight with somebody else, and he had blood in his. He had like a black eye. And I guess it was from a couple days before. But I'm going to show you a picture of like the car, that my grandfather's car. Like, so what's so there's so my this is a day that I left. My grandfather is like, he's in there. He's in the driver's seat. He's driving me. You see the blood right in the center console. There's blood right there in the center console, and then I'll show you the one I took right before that. And then there's a I had to, like, I went the other opposite way, but and there's a baseball bat I had when I was like 5 years old. Okay, in there, and I was like, Grandpa, why is there a baseball bat in the car? And he's just like, I don't know. He just like, he just said, I don't know. And so um so the thing is that I guess I'll have to say it one more time, is that my grandfather and my aunt, my aunt doesn't like this woman. Okay, she said, well, my grandfather said my aunt doesn't care who, like, what happens to this woman, so my grandfather is saying that is blaming my aunt, and my father and my grandfather are blaming this woman, whose clothes were in the closet, for stealing my guitar, and they both got into this car and drove off with my guitar, and because my aunt knows about it, my grandfather knows about it, and so, like, that's the only people that I guess, and my grandfather's not telling me anything about, like, talking to my father about it. Is not talking to my father about it. Like, he has not told me anything about, like, my father. They're blaming, they're immediately blaming somebody who got in the car with my father. They both got into the car with my guitar because she didn't have like any mechanism of transportation, and so and that's the thing, like, they and then so and if she's in jail, like, how would he know where it was pawned? How would he know where it's pawned? And if she's in jail, like, why would she just, like, admit to another crime? Like why would she admit to another crime? Um, and if he didn't care about her, and nobody else cares about her, why would he? Why would she? Why would she, like, help him out? Like, why would she help him out? Those are all stupid questions. But, like, if in jail, she's not going to tell him. Simply, if she's in jail, she's not going to tell him that she stole the guitar. Okay, she's not going to do that. And especially when they got into the car together, and especially because they got into the car together. Unless we're talking about her willing to lie to like, because she was arrested for something that she didn't, a bigger crime. So so this could have been a reason, like, she's gonna lie, and it's not gonna implicate my father, because they want to, because well, my uncle is corrupted and works for the courthouse, and my uncle told my aunt my uncle told my grandfather to lie, on court documents, and then my aunt, also, my aunt told my aunt wants my father to have this house. Let me just put it that way. My aunt wants my father to have this house, and my father doesn't want to work a day in his life for this house. He doesn't want to, like, this house is paid off. He doesn't think that he should work a day in his life for this house. Okay, he doesn't think he should work at all, and and my aunt hates my father. My aunt hates my father, and my father hates my aunt. So the only reason my father and my aunt are willing to blame it on an innocent individual is because it protects them from getting arrested, and the only reason, that my grandfather the only reason my grandfather is also blaming the woman is because he is not. He doesn't want my father to go to jail for walking off with my guitar. Once again, not just my guitar is missing. I have another computer that's missing that I had rented, and that computer I owe like $300 on now, and which was been stolen. And why was it stolen? Because I was sitting there and I was just like, well, I'm gonna sit here and talk to somebody on the computer, like, and get through these emotions, and because they threatened to kill me, and like I wasn't able to capture though that on camera. I had to press record, so I felt safer, and that so that helped me like feel safer, and and that's so this video is 20 minutes, it should be enough, but it just when my grandfather said they didn't like nobody cared about her, when nobody cared about her, and I was forced, nobody cared about her, and that my father was using her, and so was using her, like that really hurt me, because that really hurt me, and 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 once again, she probably my father wanted me to sit there on that bed where that closet is at. He wanted me to sit in that bed and listen to them like have sex. Like he punched me in the face because I slept on the couch. Like when he was on parole, he violated his parole and punched me in the face. And then he said like he told me like I had to like I couldn't like like he just said that I needed to sit in that room. Like it was just like no discussion. And if I had a discussion about it, he told me like I had to sleep outside. And and what's also important is that what's also that's important is that is that he wants criminals like there's already been criminals inside this house. Like she got in trouble for something, possibly she's possibly in jail, but she's there's he's had other people come through the house, and there's been multiple people who have been criminals coming through the house. My grandfather stated that he doesn't want criminals, like like I told my grandfather you're allowing criminals in the house, and he denies it. I'm like, well, stealing my stuff is a crime, and and he doesn't believe my father has committed a crime, and I just and there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more that I need to say. I just need to like show you the video just to like solidify everything that I've said, to make people, I guess, really realize that by having my father here, my grandfather's going to have his whole entire house like turned upside down by criminals, my grandfather's going to get hurt. Okay, my grandfather's going to get hurt, and he's a like there's cigarette butts out here. There's beers out here. Um, my grandfather, my grandmother died because of this, and and my grandfather is well obviously willing to accept that this is his environment to protect my aunt, and protect
Maybe like some of him is proud of me, and the other half.
like is willing to protect so my father doesn't go back to jail, and my aunt doesn't get in trouble, my uncle doesn't get in trouble, and so and it's because like once again my aunt was on the phone when my father violated that parole. She called my grandfather, and then my father rolled up. Okay, and then and then and then she kept asking about she kept so once again she knew that he violated the parole, and she knows where my guitar is. She knows that my guitar is stolen, so she talks to my father. All right, and because my father got into the car with her, and because my father got in the car, and they allegedly pawned the guitar, that my allegedly pawned the guitar, that my father doesn't want to go to jail, so he's gonna blame her. He's gonna blame her, the woman that he tried to, the woman he got upset about, the woman that I told who he was an offender. The woman I told that he was an offender. He now wants her. He's now like letting her go to jail because he doesn't care about her. Because he doesn't care about her. So, and he's only doing that so he doesn't go to jail. He's only doing that so he doesn't go to jail. My grandfather has said that my father was using her, and my aunt doesn't care whether or not she goes to jail, as long as she goes to jail. As long as she goes to jail, then my aunt doesn't care. But if my father goes to jail, he's going to start like saying, well, this Diana has been controlling my grandfather, and that and it's gonna go, and she doesn't want to get in trouble for any of it, so that's why they're literally saying, well, we're just gonna blame her. We're gonna blame her for it. And once again, her clothes are in the closet. Her clothes are in the closet. All right. So and he told her to put the clothes in the closet. So she told her to put the clothes in the closet. She saw the guitar. He knew the guitar was in the closet. They said, let's go and get rid of it. Let's go and get rid of it. So once again, they're willing to put an innocent person in jail for theft. It's grand theft. Like, it's like a $3 to $5 grand guitar. Like it's worth at least $3 grand. So they're willing to send her to jail, and they're willing to send somebody to jail. And that same person, my father wanted to kill me because I told her that he was a criminal. And the police say, that's okay. The police came and I told them that. They're like, why did the police came and they didn't even arrest him. He came with, he literally, like, I was wearing this sweater because that's all I have, and I didn't even have shoes on. I didn't have shoes on. Like, I didn't have, like, socks on. I didn't have socks on either. And so, and like she was apparently, and she might be a criminal too. She might be in jail allegedly, and like so, and I'm telling them that, like, your grandpa, you're allowing criminals in your house. Like, my grandmother, like, would never have allowed would never allow this. She would never allow this, and so what and once again, my car got stolen. Like my clothes got thrown away, and like I had to suffer while my grandfather was beating up on my grandmother. And my aunt forced my grandmother to sign a power of attorney so she couldn't testify that this was like this, that her husband is corrupted, and that she's a POS, and that because she after you sign a power of attorney, you're supposed to be there for the person you're responsible for. She was never here. She was never ever here. and and um and so that and I guess what the point is that they're willing to put people in jail. My family's willing to put people in jail who are innocent, and to save their own behind. To save their own behind. And I just really hope that I've said it. I proved it. I have proved it. But I guess on the video that I didn't show is that my grandfather is I guess I just need to show the beginning of the video of where my grandfather and I sit down, and I'm asking him I'm asking him I don't know why you can't pull the internet. But she doesn't move in. She doesn't move into the house. She doesn't move into the house. I need to like full screen it maybe. It's just I can't call the pawn shop. What am I going to tell the police? If I call the police right now, what am I going to tell the police, Grandpa? Okay, where's it at?
I'll talk to the police right now. I can't talk to you.
Okay, why can't you talk to me?
Because you don't make sense.
What pawn shop is my guitar at? That's pretty clear. I'm waiting for an answer.
I'm going to call the police now.
Okay, he's gonna call the police now. Perfect. Like he knows. Yeah. What's it gonna tell the police? She took it. That's. And she got into this. And she got into this car. She got into this car, and that's why, because if she's in this car, and my grandfather, if she's in this car, and my grandfather. What number are you calling? If her and my father are in this car, and my grandfather let him have the car, then it's not even like it's my grandfather's property. It's my grandfather's property.
It's me saying,
Like, meaning it's his car. Like the guitar was in his house.
I can't do it. I tried. I tried calling and reporting a theft. They wouldn't
I tried calling the police.
steal anything of mine, and I can't call it.
I tried calling the police and reporting the theft, and they wouldn't put a
That
police
would make
report
anybody
down.
really upset. Like,
They
this
wouldn't
is- I
file.
should be upset.
The
I
police
wanna-
didn't write a police
I wanna
report
cry.
for my stolen guitar or anything else.
My grandmother paid. It's like 5,000. It's like 3,000 minimum.
My grandfather just alleged that he paid for it. My grandmother bought the guitar.
He's gonna try to get an innocent person arrested. He's gonna get an innocent person arrested. Innocent person arrested.
How does he know it's in a pawn shop?
How does he know it's in a pawn shop?
I'm just doing this twice, I guess.
There, a girlfriend of my son who stayed here for a little while. We're pretty sure she took it.
It's not true.
I believe she admitted it to my son.
It's not true.
I told him where it was.
Allegedly, she's in jail right now. So how could that have happened?
She's in jail in another county. I'm not sure.
It's not true.
See?
That might be true. That might have. So why did he try?
Not the exact day.
Why did he try to kill me? Why did my father try to kill me?
Yeah. Why would my father try to kill me?
Why did? Cause
Yeah, why would my father try to kill me if over a girl who he doesn't care about? And so this is the last video that I can just pretty much there's one more video that I'm going to show you, and it's pretty much the last video that I recorded. And this is like, because this is where my grandfather says, like, she meant nothing to anybody. So,
you made me chili. Is that? And you said it's okay if I eat it? Okay. I have to ask you again. Do you want me here?
Yeah, but the problem is you can't stay here when he takes over. You're not gonna be able to stay here.
When he takes over, I'm not gonna be able to stay here. Why do you want me to stay here?
Because I don't think you want to be out on the street.
No, I don't want to be out on the street.
But why don't you get help so you can stay here?
Can you pause it real quickly? It's right there. Okay. You want me here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your question?
I want to take care of you because I don't think you're really capable of taking care of yourself.
Well, everybody needs somebody to have, everybody needs to take care of somebody that's loved.
it's just a light.
I'll take care of you if you'll get help.
It's just a light from the camera.
If you will go and get help and stick with it, I'll stick with you. But the problem is you won't let me help you.
PhD, I'm like PhD bound. It's difficult to like. It would make anybody upset.
PhD.
Grandpa, okay. Diana said she doesn't want me here.
Diana doesn't say that.
She did on the phone.
Diana does not say that.
We
Diana is worried about you just like everybody else. Linda, Diana, and me, we're all worried about you.
we were on speakerphone.
But you won't.
We were on.
Yes, I know.
She told me I gotta
She
get
said
out.
On Thursday, I'm gonna have to leave.
She's not worried about me.
Thursday, if Virgil takes over the place,
She's not worried about me at all.
you would have to leave because he don't want you here.
Yes.
And the only way he will want you here, if you go for therapy and stick with it and get yourself off of this, whatever it is you're on.
So, did he care about that woman at all?
No,
He didn't care about her.
no. He was just using her.
Okay.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry because it's like, so why would you try to kill me? Come home and try to kill me over somebody who you didn't even care about, or somebody you didn't care about, like. This is what the date is. It's January 3rd.
I don't know if you can see it.
And then they're gonna blame her. Like you gotta understand like how how much more I care. You're just gonna use her, and he's okay with it.
And then dispose of her.
If I loved somebody, I would put myself on a different planet where I couldn't see them, talk to them, or ever. I couldn't ever have contact with them. If I truly loved somebody,
Like, I wouldn't implicate somebody. Like, I wouldn't implicate somebody in a crime. Is my point. Is my point. Is whatever it is that if you're breaking the law, I wouldn't bring anybody else into it. And just like being around my father, anybody who's around my father, like, he basically is going to, like, they commit crimes. Like, he's a criminal and they keep committing crimes. It's what criminals do. They get around each other and they commit crimes. And my grandfather's going to have this whole entire house, like, get destroyed if my father's not put in jail for, like, the rest of his life. For like, the rest of his life. And my grandfather is, like I said, why did my grandfather, why is it so difficult to believe my grandfather's a liar? And it's just because, like, the house, his, like, everything, for every reason possible. And so I just want to say that, like, my aunt has to go to jail, my uncle has to go to jail, and my grandfather has to go to jail because they killed my grandmother because they neglected her. Like, look at the neglect. Like, look at the neglect. Like, look at the neglect that I'm showing you. Like, you think my grandmother's gonna, like, she was in a wheelchair. Like, you think anybody's gonna stop? Like, if nobody's filing a police report for my stolen guitar, do you think anybody's gonna stop him from hitting my grandmother or putting her into a bathroom? Like, when she wasn't behaving, nobody obviously nobody obviously was going to sit there and tell him otherwise. Who's going to tell him otherwise? And like, and once again, the police came and they asked me what am I going to do about housing, and as if, like, I have to leave, like, as if I have to leave. Like, why should I have to leave this house first off? But there are three housing programs. The police department has one housing program, and under that housing program, you must get like a mental health assessment. And there was a police officer that came to my house. In order to qualify, you must go through a mental health assessment. And a police officer came to my house, and then he, after my grandfather hit my grandmother, and I was telling him this, and he told me to get on my belly, and then he put, and then after, in the room where the guitar was at, and then after I got on my belly, he then handcuffed me. And he started punching me over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so he's now in federal court as the defendant. I took him to federal court, and his lawyer wanted to find out if I had, like, any mental health assessments ever done, so they could use that for his defense. And so the Rockford Police Department wants me to go get a mental health assessment, so that way they can use it for the police officer, so he doesn't get get like possibly arrested, like, in a large amount of trouble for assaulting me in that bedroom. And they took a deposition. That lawyer took a deposition of my grandfather, my grandfather's deposition, and my grandfather said to that lawyer, like, yeah, he was beating up on Ethan, and Ethan was saying yes sir and no sir, and like he wasn't being aggressive or anything. And just like I've talked to every police officer, and so they just and so the lawyer said, you know what, we're not going to we're not going to use my grandfather's deposition. And additionally, like this is a city of Rockford, allowing domestic violence to continue to happen, elder abuse to continue to happen, and the local politicians, like the mayor, saying, you know what, we're doing everything that we can to stop it, but in reality, like nobody's doing. Yeah, I need to stop right there because there are 3 housing programs. I obviously get a little upset. I have to keep it. There's a lot of information. There are 3 housing programs. The other 2 housing programs don't require a mental health assessment. Okay, so you can go there and just sign up, and then you get on the housing list, and and um, and so it's interesting how the police department works with the health center, so that way in case a police officer assaults somebody, okay, so assaults somebody, they and they become homeless, that basically that they take them to a health center, so they get a health treatment, they get a health assessment, and then so if that person wants to file a lawsuit against the police officer who assaulted them, they can't because the police tricked them, or the police like told them to go to this housing through this housing program, and it gets the police officer off for police brutality. That's just like, and obviously like the police have. I tried to file a police report on my stolen car, on all my belongings, like my like my clothes got thrown away, and they're not doing that. They're not doing that. Like I told them about my grandmother getting hit in the face. They didn't do anything about that. Okay, they didn't do anything about that. Like, and my father violating an order of protection, and my father violating an order of protection, and assaulting me, like violating his parole when I was laying down on the couch. He like hit me in the face like over and over on the couch. Like they didn't do anything about that. Like I called the parole officer, and I couldn't get through to the parole officer because I didn't have a phone, and when I called, like I told them that like this is happening, but they didn't like. They asked me what they wanted to do about it, and I couldn't call them back. Like it was like the lines of communication were so scarce because I was sleeping outside. I was sleeping outside, and so if I'm like, and my aunt has said like my aunt told my grandfather to make me sleep outside, like get rid of all my stuff, throw away all my stuff, and make me sleep outside. Um, After, and this was, yeah, and that's how bad it is because my grandmother. I sat there and witnessed my grandmother get hurt, and my aunt forced her to sign the power of attorney, and I couldn't do anything about it. Like I just sat there and I was like, I was like, I was like, well, like I was like, I tried call. I told the police. Like great job, Rockford, Illinois, for like way to go on domestic violence. You did a great job. Like I every day I was here and my father was here. He tried to he threatened me. He threatened to assault me. He wrote me death threats. Okay, he wrote me death threats. I don't know if I have like photographs on my phone. Exactly of like I have them. I have them. Okay, but but um but like why didn't they arrest him? Because they're corrupted. Because they're corrupted. Like and they're sticking. They're gonna and also I was held down by like 6 police officers in my front lawn. Initially, I was handed because I reported my grandmother being assaulted. I called them like several times, and I was like, "This is not right." And they came out, and they said that like, "Look, well, this is where well, basically they told me to get on the ground, and I was calm. They threw me to the ground, and they assaulted me, and then they took me to a hospital, and then when I was at the hospital, they went to court, and told the court that they basically they had the court they levied the power of the court so that way they wouldn't get in trouble for it. And then yeah, after that, during that time, like during that day when that happened, the day that happened, My grandfather took my keys. My grandfather took my keys, and he drove my car to like somewhere, and I think like he still doesn't tell me what he did. He still doesn't tell me what he did. He drove my car somewhere, and then it ended up on the car lot. And because it was in the garage, it was in the garage here. He pulled it out, and then he drove it out, and then because I had my keys in my possession, I had my car keys in my possession. He got my car, and he drove it somewhere, and then he called like the tow truck or whatever, and then it sat on the lot for like several months. And why didn't I know this? Because my phone was in the car, um, or my phone was like either my phone was in the car or my phone was I had belongings in the car, but either my phone was in the car or it was on the chair, and he just took that and he just put it in the car too, because I needed my phone and my car for my work, for my job. That was my source of income. And so what he did after that was that he closed our bank account, which was a joint bank account, so I couldn't make my car payment. I had a job. I was working. Okay, but then he closed my bank account, and I couldn't come back here I couldn't come back here, so I couldn't I couldn't use this as like my mailing address, and all my identification, everything was here. And I couldn't come back here and get my identification because the police just assaulted me like in my front lawn, like the first time, and so I couldn't open a bank account, and so I couldn't pay for my car payment. I couldn't pay, and my car was gone, so I didn't know if I was. And he wouldn't like nobody would tell me where it was at. Like my car was gone, and so the point is that like I had I had the money for it, but I didn't. Nobody knew where it was at, and I have an insurance claim for that car. I have like a claim number. Okay, like I actually like for courts, like I have a claim number, but the insurance, because I had full coverage on the car. It was a brand new car, and I have insurance. It was half paid off, brand new car, and so the issue was that the insurance company needed a police report, and the police are like, we're not going to file a report for you because that incident with the car attaches us to the police brutality, and the theft of your car attaches us to like, well, what's happening now is my theft of the guitar, and like I sat there and suffered. Like I sat there and suffered and suffered. I'm like, I can't do anything about this. I can't do anything about this. I can't do anything about this. And if I, and there's a point where I couldn't call the police. There's a point where I couldn't call the police. It got so bad, like they sat at the kitchen table with a knife, and they said like if I say anything, because after like I witnessed my grandmother get hit too many times, they're like, well, if you say anything, then we're gonna call the police, and we're gonna lie. They said that we're gonna lie to the police. Okay, they said we're gonna lie to the police, and obviously if the evidence, like all this evidence, and he's still not arrested, like you can see how corrupted the police department is, and so I ran over to my neighbors. I asked to call 911. They said no, like they didn't think it was like this bad in the house, and so when I came back here, my neighbors were dumb enough to call back to the house, and I was assaulted. I was assaulted then. I was assaulted many times, and I was always laying down. Like I made sure like not to stand up and square up with anybody. Like when I was laying down is because I was in my bedroom. I was on the couch. Like I made sure not to be confrontational with anybody ever, and so like, and that's how bad it was. And then and so the issue is that well, I think all these issues like really rely like where's like let's just stop right there because it gets worse. It gets worse. And so the issue is that where's my guitar, and they know where it's at, and they're blaming somebody they're blaming somebody who stole it, so she goes to jail, and so they don't get in trouble for stealing it because both people got into this car. Both people got into this car. My grandfather my grandfather let him drive this car with both of them in the car, and they ended up taking the guitar and putting it in the car too and driving off with it and using this car. That way it's my grandfather's car. And then it's not it's like his property kind of thing. And the issue is two issues. I'm gonna stop right there in a minute, but like the homeowner's insurance isn't it like the homeowner's insurance is must be the person who owns the house. So depending on who owns the house, I might not be able to file a homeowner's insurance. Like I might not be able to file a claim for it. Like all my stuff can get stolen, and I can't file a claim for it. And that's what happened. It already happened. It already happened. So just bear with me. It already happened. And so and additionally, additionally, they well, I've said it like this. Like they these people have to go to jail for like forever, and like why is the police department so corrupted? Like why are they so why couldn't they just do their job? And 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 uh and like how come I had to sleep outside? And after 2 years, the judge said like now after I have all this because I had to get all this evidence, and now I get to sleep inside. And why does my aunt of all people want me to sleep, go back outside? Why does she want me to go back outside? Like these videos that I'm posting, like they like by the way, like I haven't told anybody that these videos are up in the up on I haven't told anybody about these videos. My grandfather knows that I'm recording videos, so is she going on and is she's probably somebody's going on and watching these videos and giving her telling her about them. Like my point is that like on these videos I've said like just leave me alone, leave me alone, like let me sleep inside. Like what the hell is wrong with you? Like like what this is not your house, okay? And this is not your house. And you want my father to own this house, like you want my father to have this house. He's not willing to work a day in his life for this house. Like he wants a free fucking house, okay? He wants a free fucking house, and he wants to bring criminals over here to my grandmother's house and just destroy the place. Like I've just said, like I mean, there's a beer right there. I don't know if you can see this. That's a beer right there. I like believe me. I don't know what it takes. I mean, obviously believe me, but also my body, like my legs are chicken now. Okay, I didn't lose every muscle in my body, and I didn't like I used to be able to like leg press 800-900 pounds. All right, I can't even shovel now. I can't even shovel without like huffing and puffing and like I used to be able to run like half marathons. Like you don't know how much trauma that I've suffered from this. Like it's like, and I had to keep like remembering all these like things that are happening constant like every single day. That like, and I'm trying to like piece this all together because they're freaking liars. And the cops are like, okay, we don't care. So I'm just like, how the heck do I move on? With after you stole my car, you threw away all my clothing, like you guys are freaking criminals. Like this is and so like I said, I couldn't shovel. Like I struggled shoveling for 2 seconds. Like and my aunt says she like I'm gonna sleep outside like this next week in the middle of December. Like why would you say that? Like why would you care? Like what did I and how, like what did I ever do to you? What did I ever do to you? I don't even talk to you. Okay, that's how corrupt her husband is, and and uh and and once again, my aunt never visited my father in jail. Okay, my grandmother never visited my father in jail. My father doesn't like my aunt, and my aunt doesn't like my father. So like, there's no reason for them to like to sit there and lie unless to protect themselves from going to jail. And my grandfather is playing everybody, playing everybody. Okay, like my father violated his order of protection, came back and dropped off this car. When he violated that order of protection, he came back in this car. I already showed you footage of it. So, and like, I'll like 2 more minutes. Like, I like the reason why is because some people are just that evil. That they're that evil. I'm a professional singer. I'm a professional guitar player, and in 3 years, I couldn't play guitar. I couldn't sing for 3 years, and it's important because like it's really bad. It's extremely bad. It's really really bad, and so I yeah it's I have to get emotional in order to give this information out because when I'm calm, and I've been calm this whole time, but when I'm calm, it's just like I am so conditioned to losing everything that I just like this is easy for me, but I can't. Like this computer I'm using, it don't work. I can't type anything up. Like I walked to the store today at night, and where there's snow, there's no sidewalks. I can't get to the store safely. Like I worked every day. I worked every day. Like I worked for I worked for what I owned. Okay, and no, and my grandmother did not want my father to have this house, and she wanted me to have this house, and I was willing to share it, and this crime where you take something that's not yours, my instrument, they took everything from me. They took everything from me. Like what was I supposed to do? Like my grandfather thinks that the solution is that I become more aggressive. No, the solution is to let people do what they want, and so and to let people live how they want. My grandfather allows me to talk and record these things, and believe it or not, and because he's that confident, he's not going to get in trouble. He lives in his own world. He doesn't like dealing with this, and he doesn't want anybody to go to jail, and he thinks that I should have fought. This entire city thinks I should have fought back. Like, let's fight a police officer. Argue with somebody. No, I'm not going to argue with you either. I'm not going to sit there, and the solution is not that you get aggressive and you fight back. And I would have, and so that's what he thinks the solution should be. Like, let's be aggressive. That's what everybody thinks the solution should have been. Is like, get aggressive. Like, you let somebody steal your stuff, they get hurt. Like, they get hurt. Did you know that you end up going to jail for hurting somebody else over worldly possessions? These are worldly possessions. You hurt somebody bad enough, like, it's not going to equate to the value of the possession. So let's think logically. The pain and suffering that I lost my body mass, like, it's just that, like, I was healthy. Like, why I couldn't work out? Like, why couldn't I work out? Like, why couldn't I, like why did I have to sleep outside for like it was like for like a year? Like, why did I have to do that? Like, because I'm back here now. I'm back here because I went to court and I told them. Like, why can't I? How come I can't file a police report on my guitar or my car? How come I can't do that? Like, why is it so difficult? And why are they not getting arrested? They're not getting arrested. So, it's, well, like, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. Okay? I'm gonna fix it. And, like they just, no way in hell. Like, am I gonna let them, like, use people? Like, the people that I'm related to, like, use people so they don't get in trouble? You can just use somebody? You can use somebody. No. Like, you are sick in the head. And, yeah. I'm gonna fix it. And I just love how the city will let somebody get tortured. Like, my grandmother went through it too, by the way. My grandmother went through it too. Meaning she went through getting hit in the face when she was in a wheelchair. What the hell is wrong with you, people?